Yo, this is the one and only Bodega with me, Kuma the Bear, the sexual diva.
The one true bear to rule them all. You know it's Kuma. How y'all doing?
Kuma, how's life? How you been living? How you been going through these trials and tribulations that we're living through in this great country?
Otherwise known as America. I've been doing pretty good. Honestly, all in all, it's been a hectic 2 months. I feel like stage 2 of the corona's coming around.
It's been a hectic 6 months. So what are you talking about?
Oh, man, let's not take the whole year. I can't talk about it. Instagram has enough memes for all of us.
I think we all forget how the beginning
Day one was World War III. I feel like people don't understand. Day one
was like possibly World War III. Like Trump killed a high general of a country in the Middle East, and they were very upset about that, and they wanted revenge. And they did put a hit on him.
Day one. We woke up in 2019.
2020.
Thinking, hey, tomorrow's 2020.
It's going to be a whole new
Went
decade.
to sleep, woke up, so the draft may be coming back.
Yeah, it's World War III. And the other countries saying, yo, if the U.S. attacks this country, we're getting involved on that country's side. And then the other country was like, if you do that, then we're getting involved in the U.S.
I'm going to support my boy. Yo, say less. If you move, we move. Just like that.
Yeah. And then boom. Well, World War III is about to happen. Well.
The despair on day one of 2020 was
I love
crazy.
all the memes. People like, we killed your president. No, we did nothing. I just woke up. He did that.
Like, my eyes still got matter in between them, and you telling me what?
Yeah, you said, what is this? No, we.
I can't even move my toes in the morning. What you talking about, we?
That was him. That's Trump. That's Trump boy right there. I didn't do anything of the sort or the contrary.
But other than that, how have you been, Bodega?
I'm being good. I've been alive. I look forward to Sundays. Sundays are my favorite days of the week.
Really now?
Yes,
Sunday?
yes, because I guess we record the podcast.
Oh man, that sounds so wholesome. I thought it was because you get to sleep in a little bit.
No, because I actually get to socialize with people.
Listen, sometimes I think that there's a person listening and they're like, I enjoy having a conversation with these two. And then other times I think to myself, you know what's crazy?
That people listen to this?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah.
Man, I love our listeners. I appreciate every single one of you guys.
Oh, of course. You gotta have fun with it. It's like when when you call like your best friend, when you have nothing to talk about, so you just start something, and y'all both know that you're joking.
Yeah,
so it's just entertainment.
like I saw your ex with somebody another day.
Yo, bro, listen. I swear you won't believe this. What happened, bro? Listen, I'm gonna send you it in your DMs. Open up Instagram, and that becomes a conversation for 6 hours. Good friendships, man. But I gotta ask you: have you seen that new song with Nicki Minaj and 6ix9ine?
Nah, I did not listen to that shit at all. You listen to it? Wait,
I did. I watched that.
You watched?
Nicki
Was it
Minaj
good?
was out here looking like a schnack.
Oh,
like
that picture of her. That's actually from the video.
yeah,
Apparently, the ones just her titties out.
yeah.
Well, people are outraged about that.
Yeah, her titties was like, okay, I'm gonna take off my POC hat real quick. Yo,
POC hat?
politically correct.
Oh.
Anyways,
Wrong
yo,
podcast.
Nicki Minaj was just out here for full display and showcasing, and it's like she got a different suit, like swimsuit, for every scene she was in. Like watching that, just like 30 seconds, it was just her changing, and it was like, wow. The whole song, I have to say, 6ix9ine knows how to make catchy ass songs, bro. Like whatever song 6ix9ine gets put on, it's catchy.
Or his writers.
Yeah, it's catchy. Like I didn't like it at all, but I knew it was catchy. Like like how a certain tune keeps hitting on your head. You're like, if I just lean into it, this is all I'm gonna be thinking about all day. That's what that song was. So you didn't hear it at all?
No.
Like you didn't even see pictures or nothing.
No, I didn't.
So
I'm kind of tired of 6ix9ine.
Yeah, I don't know if the same person who did the hair and makeup for the last video.
Your bestie?
Nah, it's not my best. Listen, I just support that dude. Like I don't know how I got
Do you know him
there.
personally?
Not at all.
You see him on Instagram?
Yeah, it was just somebody on Instagram, and I followed, and like, oh, look at that. But it was Trolls, which is the name of the song. Just want
Trolls?
to make sure. Yeah,
I'm just tired of 6ix9ine.
I thought like that was perfect because like after the mouse thing,
No, I'm just tired. Yeah, he's
after
trolling.
snitching, now he trolling, but he trolling Nicki Minaj, and it's just them have like it's entertainment
tired.
at its finest. I'll put it that. But it's just a catchy song. And Nicki Minaj is wildin'.
I'm surprised people still. I'm not surprised. I thought it'd be more like. I didn't think we'd see so many artists working with him after he came out.
I don't think that's really a shocker, honestly, because like the game now is not what the game was. Like the same morals and rules, I don't think they apply.
Copy.
So, what else is something that was happening in the news that got your attention?
You heard what's his name again? You heard the NY Police Department.
Oh, the chief?
The chief, his reaction to the media and how they treated him?
That thing was... It was tone deaf. I think that's...
It was tone deaf?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to say it.
Okay.
Because he was like, the media is portraying us like this.
Yeah.
And they're against us, but I'm proud to be a cop. And I'm going to continue to be proud to be a cop. I'm like...
Yeah.
So you don't see the issue? Because it didn't really seem like he talked about the issue. He just said the media's coming at us.
I know he mentioned what happened in Mississippi.
It was like that. That's all he just tapped.
Where's the name of the place again before I fuck it up again? Minneapolis. Minneapolis. There you go. I said
Mississippi.
Okay. Keep going.
Yeah. So he just tapped on it. Like the way... Like, the biggest portion of it was him saying, I'm happy to be cop, I'm going to be happy cop. The media is just against us. Like, it just felt like a shoulder shrug to the whole issue. Like, he was bringing out his chest, like, I don't care. That's what it felt like to me. But what do you think?
Okay. So, my first reaction to it, my first thought was about, I can see where he's coming. Right?
No.
Right? That was my first reaction, right? Because not all cops are bad cops. Right? I think that's what you're trying to say, right? Go.
Now speak your piece, man.
You go. What's your...
I'm going to state how I feel right here. As the police chief, in the times where we see more and more videotapes of people, your people, quote unquote, your brothers, quote unquote, messing up, legally doing illegal things, and abusing their power. It's crazy that the chief of police comes out saying, "Nah, just have pride that you're doing the right thing when you're doing something wrong by your standards." Other than that, go on.
Right, and then I looked at everybody standing behind him. I was like, there's not a single black person or a person of minority standing behind you. They're all white, every single one of them, and they all look like they're either Italian or Dutch descended. My guy.
Not a good look.
And then just more videos keep coming out of the cops from all assets across the country, including New York City. My guy.
Which was hard to watch.
My guy. Yeah, my guy. You kind of my guy.
Oh man, I'm not even going to talk about that.
My problem is, my thing is, I always say we do need police reform. Or we was talking about it. We had a whole conversation before we started recording. We do need police reform. The police system has to be fixed, right?
Like there's integral things wrong with it.
It's integral things wrong with it,
especially with training.
Like fucking up as any other job is very different from fucking up as a police. Because the amount of responsibility that you hold as an individual is much more higher than anybody else in their day-to-day job.
You're technically not on the same level as a citizen, quote unquote.
No, you're not. You're not.
So
you have powers grant. Well,
yeah, when you're on duty. Yes.
And it's funny because I'm thinking about this. I know there are more laws against police officers than there is citizens.
But what I care is, are they enforced?
That's the issue I feel like we really need to handle. Because at the end of the day, if you work with somebody, right, any environment that you work with somebody, right, and you do something wrong, your co-worker, not your superior, but your co-worker
needs to call you.
No. I'm talking about what actually happens. Don't hold the mic like that. Yeah. So what happens is that your co-worker will cover for you. All right? Any job you have, most co-workers will try to cover for you, or you can find a co-worker to cover for you, correct?
Okay. With that one, yeah.
Right? That's just, take copy and paste that to the police force, right? But the difference comes in, well, you hold the lives of people in your hands, which is very different from, it's very different from, okay, like you came late into your shift or you stole something from a store that you was working at. It's very different from taking the life or injuring a civilian or a citizen.
It's really different from, oh, you forgot to put the wet floor sign to, oh, you forgot to turn on safety.
Yes.
There's a big difference.
Or you overreacted.
Or you didn't de-escalate the situation.
Exactly. Which, so I have, me and Kuma here, I found this website. This is the only website I have. We might come back next episode, and it breaks down NYPD's budget, all right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about this for a little bit, actually. We're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about later on, we're going to talk about Cuomo, and he signed some bills into action, like 11 bills, I think.
For police reform, right?
Yeah, I saw myself the article, so we can actually put it up and read from it.
Okay.
Action for police reform. One of the bills was to officially make the chokehold illegal.
Wasn't it already illegal?
Yeah, but you got to double down. Hey, I don't know.
So it's illegal.
Yes. No. First it was illegal.
Yeah.
Now it's illegal to do it to black people.
Oh, I didn't know black people had their own different set of laws.
It's always like that. You never noticed?
I know, man. Yo, I must be slipping today.
Yeah, come on. That's why we need our own constitutions so they can treat us like humans.
Oh no! Wow, the black constitution.
No, I'm talking about the okay. I don't want to fuck with your memory. It was. That's why I was like, please don't maybe.
No.
Yeah,
it's just ongoing jokes that it really needs to go down like this.
Yeah, it does. It sucks.
Yeah.
Actually, before I get into the whole thing with the budgets, right? What my personal belief is, I feel that they need, because like cop, right? Like for example, right? The military has its own police force that polices the military.
Yeah.
And we see it in CRS.
Mm. And then you also have like Jewish people. They have their own different police force for that community. I'm talking on a community level.
Well, first this, right? So, like, I feel like it needs to be done so as like a lot of times I feel like it's handled, situations happen internal, which I feel like they shouldn't be handled internal. I feel like we should have our own unit outside to handle situations.
So we can have an actual neutral party handle what's going on.
And I for some reason, I gotta do more research. I need to not do research. I need to just Google this. That's what research is right now. People say I gotta do research. No, nigga, you don't go on Google.
15 minutes of Google.
Yeah, that's research. So when I gotta do my research, I'm pretty sure there is. I'm not crazy. I know there is, but I feel like that needs to be fleshed out more and made more independently, and not no cross union. And that needs to really be built up to hold police officers accountable.
I see what you're saying, and I would agree having a separate entity.
Yeah, because the thing that it is the police force has no system of checks and balances like the government has. There are laws in place for them not to do certain things past the limits, because at the end of the day, a cop is not it's not really a jury. A cop is very limited. If you look at the laws, in and out of itself, a cop can get in trouble for it very easily. But the thing is, are those things enforced?
How many times are they just overlooked? Or
exactly.
You get not even a slap on the wrist about, hey,
you just get it's fine. You go. Because at the end of the day, those are being handled by people that they know.
Yeah.
Right, which is a problem. And also, we got people don't also realize too is like cops also know people who work like in district attorney.
Because they work together.
They work because you arrest criminals, you have to bring them into court, you have to show up. So you do have a relationship with the district attorneys and stuff like that. So a lot of times, I think that's what happened with the guy. I forgot where. That's what happened with the kid. What's his name? The kid that was jogging.
Andrew Aubrey.
Yes, Andrew Aubrey. I think that's he was it Andrew Aubrey? Yes, that's what happened.
The vigilantes that were
but the guy who killed them used to work for the police force. He was a retired cop, right? He knew people who worked in the district attorney, and a lot of them just left the case. They didn't handle it. They left the case, and then 2 lawyers dropped out because they knew him personally and didn't want to get involved. So it's crazy. It's the whole system is needs
reform.
It needs reform, and needs It does need a system of check and balances. Like it needs
that are independent of each other.
Of independent that has to check up on what the other. One's job is to make sure that one person's doing the job.
But then think about this, right? The police officer. Nah, you said it all. You said it all.
No, what you gonna say? Just say it.
Well, the way that it's placed, because I'm thinking about like the counter argument. But the whole counter argument, I think, is, oh, but the police officer, the jury, and the lawyer, and they should not do this. Like, just realistically, the jurors should not be biased.
You mean the judge?
The judge or anybody should not be biased because they know the police officer. They shouldn't. But I'm sorry, people are not impartial. Like, to actually have a full neutral party, I feel like that's a completely different thing. Because looking at the system, I feel like people would defend what we have when what we have clearly is not working.
I don't think people are defending what we have right now. You mean people in the system are citizens?
I think, but like the people who would say like Blue Lives Matter,
yes,
and they like know cops, and they would say that the system works to some degree, and that what we're saying is not necessarily a better or fix. Because you know, like how people say, unless you have a better plan, we're going with this. I feel like that's the mentality when it comes to like reform, when it comes to police. From the opposition. But putting that out there.
I'll say no because there's people being killed on a daily.
There's been too many. I've been trying to watch more videos of like where
other people on the other side say.
Yeah, and too many times they say, "Oh, but he was at fault because like he." At the end of
the day.
Yeah, go on.
You should, no matter what, try to bring a person in alive. You're not a judge. You're an executioner.
I will always say, if the first thing a cop reaches for when trying to just arrest somebody is a gun,
that's a problem.
That, especially when you're given a stun gun.
Yeah.
And then like if the first place you shoot is like a fatal blow,
that's a
like
problem.
That's murder.
Yes.
That's just murder. I'm sorry. I don't. Like, you could have shot a leg if they were running from you. Like the case that happened in Atlanta. They're running.
You saw that case?
Yeah.
Okay, well let's talk about that case since you brought it up.
Yeah. It's like dude's running from and you're running for a while.
I guess I read the case. Let me break it down. So in Atlanta, on Friday, there's I think it was a restaurant, like a fast food joint. There was like somebody sleeping in the drive-thru. So they called the cops. So had the guy get out. And like, I guess they handcuffed the guy. They were waking up the guy. They was having they woke up the guy. They was trying to wake him up. He was resisting. He was kind of fighting back and forth with them. Right. Mm-hmm. One of the cops stunned. I think.
He took it while he was on the ground.
What?
The person who was being arrested, he reached for the stun gun on the police officer while he was down, and he took it.
Okay, he took the stun gun.
Yeah, before he got up and started running.
So he took He took the stun gun, right? But he didn't use it on them, right? He just ran with it.
Yeah, in the beginning, he just ran with it.
Okay, well, there's nothing after that.
Yeah, well, no. After that, right before the cop shoots him, he says that he turned around and fired it off. Oh. That's what it said. That he does turn around and fire the stun gun. Clearly misses, and then the cop draws out the gun.
Did he?
Video is really blurry, but that is like, I forgot what the station of the police officer on the news was, but he said that's what they have an eyewitness that they talked to who saw the thing. That's what happened. Then the account of the police officer. And then you have the video. But he does, in the video, it does look like the person who's running away does turn, and there is the stun gun in his hand. So if we were to say he fired it off, he clearly missed because the police officer didn't stop moving in the slightest.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. And continue before I jump
Well, you just said it. Just finish it off.
Okay, so my issue with that whole thing is, for all the people who are going to say, oh, but he fired a stun gun at the police officer, I'm like, I wish police officers fired stun guns at half of the people they killed. Because they would not.
Are you sure you're getting started? Because I know he got shot with a stun gun.
The police officer?
No, the guy. He got hit with a stun gun.
And then he got up and started running?
they tried to shoot him with a stun gun. There was a struggle, and he ran off. The guy started chasing him. But we put up the video afterwards.
Yeah, because I know like while he was down, there was still a struggle. So maybe he got shot with the stun gun before.
That's fine. Just say your opinion. I'll search it up.
But here, for what I've seen, I will say that you shot the man clearly center mass. You didn't shoot like for a leg. You didn't shoot for an arm. You didn't try to like, disable him in a way that he could be brought in alive. At that point, he fired a stun gun, and you were like, oh, he will die. I have an issue with that. Because if a police officer, the first thing that they use when trying to stop or apprehend a suspect is the gun, and they pull the trigger to kill, not to incapacitate, that's murder. That's what I think. And honestly, I feel like people have been drawing guns way too casually. Like, way too casually. I've seen way too many Instagram videos of a police stop where the guy told him he has a gun, and then the cop was like trying to have him come out the car, but he didn't fully explain why he was even being stopped. And then immediately the cop like pulls out his gun. And I'm like, but why? His hands are still on the wheel. He let you know that he has a gun, and he hasn't done anything. But in a similar vein, there was another case that's similar to this one that I think happened in 2016, which was a cosplayer who was going as Mugen from Samurai Champloo, for those who know anime like that. And he had a sword that was plastic. And that swords, you got the video?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll finish this later.
I
have to say, I saw a different angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think there's on the building.
Yeah.
There's an angle that shows right that parking lot.
Yeah. How does it look?
It's way blurrier.
You can clearly see what happened. You can even see him grab the taser.
Yeah, he did. 100%.
And run with it, which is. You don't do that.
Yeah, honestly, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
But
grab a police officer's taser.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't die.
Exactly. Because my issue isn't that I'm not justifying what the
guy did.
No, not at all. What I'm saying is, I don't expect him to be trained or know how to handle being arrested by the cops. I don't expect that. I'm a black man.
You're holding the cop to a higher standard.
Yeah. Like, I expect the cop's job is to protect and serve and bring in the criminal alive.
Yes.
That's what I expect. I didn't ask for a bounty hunter. That's what I'm thinking. So, one cop had the right idea. He had a stun gun.
Yeah.
Shot it at him. It missed. Cool. Now, if you're going to resort to using your gun, I'm just saying, don't shoot center mass and kill the guy. I don't think that's that hard. I think that, like, you're a cop. You're trained to shoot with some type of accuracy and precision.
No, but
yes, I know it's stressful.
Aren't most people shot to train center mass?
Well, it's a kill shot, though.
But when people are trained to shot, it's center mass.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you should be a shot to apprehend somebody. If you're really going to go to the point where I need to use this gun, if you cannot shoot them in any other way, that means you saying, hey, I need to use this gun means you're saying, hey, I'm going to kill the person. That's what I'm saying here. If you're trained solely to shoot center mass and kill somebody, why are you reaching for your gun? If that's the logic when you use.
Yeah, but grabbing that taser shit was crazy.
What?
Grabbing that taser shit was crazy.
People have died for more and people have died for less.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why I'm like,
In the grand scheme of like situations,
I'm like, okay, he grabbed his taser.
I'm not saying it's like
that's bad.
I'm not saying it's like again it's justified, but
no, because this is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
This is a complete different conversation if he's alive.
Yeah, you're right.
That's where I'm like,
that's why it changes the tone. If it was alive,
we'll be like, oh, he a fool.
Yeah, why would we do that?
Exactly.
You could have got killed.
Yeah. But we can't now, can we?
No, we can't.
Exactly.
Because he got killed.
Exactly. That's the problem here.
So, yeah.
So I'm like, cool. I feel that the consensus is if a cop reaches for his gun, somebody dies.
Yes.
That's horrible. That is absolutely intolerable by the standards of a citizen. That's how I feel, truthfully. And if you're telling me that a cop can only shoot center mass on somebody, that's what you're saying.
What do you think the cop should have done in that situation? I really think you have your answer, but
one, I would be like, shoot him anywhere else where he wouldn't die, because your job was to apprehend the person first and foremost. And realistically, y'all could have one of you could have got into a car, the other one could have chased on foot.
Yeah,
and he would get tired.
Easily.
Clearly.
Yeah,
it could have been handled in so many different ways. Or like if the taser landed, done. But those are what if scenarios
because they could bring in people who are doing mass shootings and killings a lot, right?
Yeah, if they gave him bottles of water.
You talk about the clip? Oh, yeah. And gave him a sandwich?
Yeah. And I'm like, man just wanted to breathe. Couldn't get off his neck.
Yeah. Have there been any person that has been mass killings, like school shootings that ever died?
I don't know.
We don't know, right?
Yeah, I would say we have to get the car.
But it's not it's one of those things that we know from the top of our head, right? Most of the times.
And I think that's a problem.
Because I think last year there was quite a couple of shootings, mass shootings.
Yeah.
Not school shootings, but mass shootings.
Yeah. There was a few.
And I know for sure, like the big ones, the last year they were detained alive. So.
It's weird. It's weird that like a mass shooter with a gun, you could get him alive. Because if you're going to say that, in my head it registers, okay, so this person killed multiple people, and he had a gun.
Well, heavily armed.
Came back alive.
Heavily armed.
Then if we compare that to people who, not unarmed, on the floor, ends up dead, it's crazy. Oh, sorry. Thought I was close enough.
Yeah.
But to me, that's crazy. Then we're like, oh, wait, he stole a taser. I'm like, yeah, he didn't have an automatic rifle pointed at cops, though, right? No, he had a taser. And he's dead. And I'm like, what does that really say? Like, do you think it was just poorly handled by the police in that sense? Or do you think the police... Because I feel like that's probably a more productive conversation.
It was poorly handled by the police.
Because I really feel like he could have just drove a car and he had a stun gun and nothing would have happened. And then maybe the car was too far for them to do that. And maybe they both had bad knees. Let's say they couldn't run. I would hope that you pulling your gun doesn't mean somebody has to die. That would be my bottom line.
I don't know. I don't know what happens. I don't know. I don't know what you should do if somebody takes your taser gun and tries to shoot you with it.
If the taser's a one-shot thing, right?
Yeah, it's a one-shot thing. Yeah, I guess you just.
Yeah.
Well, what if it actually hits? But there's two of you guys. That's why there's two.
That's why. That's why for me it's not. Because he grabbed one guy's taser, the other guy uses his taser. Okay, cool. So all tasers have been used.
Yeah. Tasers was just one shot. And then you gotta
You gotta pull it back in. Stuff like that. But there are some tasers, but the ones that look like it just hangs.
Yeah, that one. That's the yellow ones.
Yeah. So with that, I'm like, cool. Tasers are now out of the situation.
I want to see the other angle.
Yeah.
I want to see the other angle you were talking about. I want to see him shooting and missing. I want to see him shooting and missing.
Yeah. Because it ends up that the dude who's running after him is on top of him. So he clearly was not incapacitated.
Say that. Repeat that again.
Remember the person who was running after him with the taser hanging out? He ends up drawing.
Oh, he's the one that draws.
Yeah, and the person behind him also. Like they started going at him like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like, but we'll double check the Carfax on that. Double check the video. But for me, my main point here is I don't want a cop pulling a gun meaning somebody has to die. That's all I want. What about you?
Yeah, that's a consensus.
I think that's a really small goal.
Small goal. Yes. Let's talk about this NYPD budget, and then let's talk about some sillier stuff.
Yeah.
So this is here. It says here about $11 billion from the city's budget is allocated to NYPD. You want to read the rest of it? Because I'm definitely going to fuck up.
Okay. So, point one is, in the fiscal year of 2020, New York City expenses for the New York City Police Department, NYPD, will total $10.9 billion, comprised of $5.6 billion NYPD operating budget and a $5.3 billion of costs centrally allocated, including $2.3 billion for fringe benefits, $2.8 billion for pensions, and $215 million for debt service. Centrally allocated costs for the NYPD are particularly high since uniformed health insurance and pension benefits are more generous than that of other city employees. So it is to be expected that healthcare is a big portion of this budget, which I don't think is too surprising. It's a very dangerous line of work.
Yeah. So
Plus the pension benefits are well known.
we can't get into this. It'll be like a big conversation. But the majority of the budget does go to the daily costs, right?
Yeah.
The operating costs, just paying people to do the work and jobs. That's most of the money comes from. So if anything is being cut, it's most likely being cut from this.
Yeah, which
it's coming to be cut for $6 billion that they get for the operating budget.
Yeah. And then I think it also goes into breaking down like how that operating budget is divided on the second point.
And this is interesting. NYPD has the third largest budget in the city, which I think the first highest is the DOE, which that was surprising. And then the second one is
public schools do not show that story.
No, they don't, especially in the hoods.
Oh no.
And this one right here, what's this?
Oh, there's social services.
That's like child services and shit like that.
Yeah.
And like welfare and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think it would also be like probably Department of Labor counts as that in certain things because you go to like NY.gov and you go to that. You have that whole site for different services and things of that nature.
So most of the budgets of NYPD operating budgets goes to salaries, wages, and
overtime,
right? So if you're gonna cut NYPD budget out, right, it has to be from
operating budget.
Operating budget has to be. That's me and Kuma have already talked about this, so we have a real idea where we're gonna go, but it has to be from the operating budget. But my thing is right, because I believe I feel like the budgets are not they're not evenly distributed against different aspects of the city, and a lot of money has to be definitely being skimmed from top. Like I really don't. There's something that says here, but I don't believe that any is not being equally like allocated.
I can understand it.
So, but my question is, if you cut the budgets, right? Then will that affect? They'll affect their salaries, and then that affects how many people are on the streets.
Yeah, 100%. But whenever we talk about like defunding the police, I really feel like it's the NYPD making a concession to the media to do something like, hey, we know that we
but okay. Look. I don't care. I'm not here to say what looks good in the pub. I'm saying what here is effective.
Like, what you think
I'm tired of talking about people. Yes, people will be happy. Okay, but they have less budgets. Would it be effective? Would it make? Are you creating a worse situation?
I think because the only thing that I personally, if it had to come strictly from the operating budget, which it seems that way, would be taking out overtime. And overtime, which means that like street patrol shifts probably would change.
Yeah.
Or less people would be active.
Cops don't patrol evenly. Well,
yeah, because supposedly everybody's supposed to have a certain area of jurisdiction that they go through.
There's certain areas that got cops patrol more often. Yeah,
so it would be like changing up that schedule or having less police officers active at one time in certain areas, because all of that would be reducing how much money really needs to go there. Because if instead of 15 people, you have 5. And they are covering more area, so they're working a longer period of time, and then you keep rotating them out so nobody's actually getting overtime. That still changes.
Wait, say that again? Keep rotating them out so they don't get overtime?
So 15 people, right?
Yeah, 15 people.
Instead of them all working the beat for 10 hours.
Yeah.
Or let's do 15 hours. So do these crazy numbers, right? We just make each one work 5.
Why are you talking lower?
Talking
significantly much more lower.
Yeah, I got really comfortable just now. But yeah, it's you'll be changing how long they're working and how many people are working. So if the overtime budget were to be affected, it's still possible. You could still get the job done. And I feel like that's probably what I would say is effective. Plus people want to see cops as much. which I just think is like mental health. But I don't really think this is the right way ultimately when it comes to defunding. Like,
See, I think the problem is this. I feel like a lot of people's solutions is, first of all, for $6 billion. I feel like just budgets are just very badly
it's split horribly.
It's like I didn't know the DOE had the largest budget in the whole city, and does not look like that.
It doesn't feel like that.
It does not look like that because I specifically know schools that said, we do not have the budgets for these textbooks. We don't have the budget for this. We don't have the budget for this. So we can't hear. This is commonplace, especially in urban areas. So for me, it's crazy that the DOE has the largest amount of budget in the city. I would have guessed that. I probably would have thought it would be fifth at best. Right?
Especially how everybody keeps saying we need to fund schools more.
Yes, that's a big push.
It has the largest.
And it has the largest. But I guess a lot of that shit goes to paying people.
Yeah.
To pay.
Getting like food for the people who get public schools, and they offer food, so getting food consistently, paying off teachers, keeping all that stuff going, and then they have health care. I mean, some of them have pensions when they get tenure, and stuff like that. So,
but that's
a count for like college and stuff. Dude.
I know if you pay a very good an accountant, he will go through that shit and go like, "Yo, money here." This is money.
Like, just get one good accountant.
No, get a whole accounting firm. Like, yo, you have like a good like $2 billion like unaccounted for. You have a good $2 billion unaccounted for.
And how long is this going on?
You have $4 billion, and please don't tell me people are stealing stuff from the supply closets. That would not equal this much money.
I would just ask, how long? Just how long?
Consistently.
It's just consistent. And that ends the whole conversation. Like, hey, they're not taking one roll of toilet paper out the supply.
I think a lot of people's thing is how it's not fixing the issue at hand. It's. I think you said this earlier, or you said reform earlier, but I think the issue is how it's holding people accountable. That is holding things
I agree with that.
Accountable. That's really the issue at hand. I feel like if we like, ironically too, in my personal opinion too, like I feel like even if they cut, I feel like they have enough money to add to the other like places like homes, like school, job programs. I feel like they have money to put in those other in the other sections without taking from DOE. Without taking, I know they have, because the whole United States just pulled out $3 trillion out of nowhere. Just pulled out money out the asses, and everyone was like, "Whoa,
where did this come from?
Where you have this at?"
They could have just printed the money.
No. They had that money.
They just had it.
Yo, I remember Puffy was like, he made a joke like, man, but Puffy was like, man, I gave the IRS I owe because at the end you got to pay the IRS if you make a certain amount of money. Yeah. And Puffy said like, yo, I paid them $100 million. That's how much you owe the IRS. Like that just tells you how much money he's making if you got to pay the IRS $100 million. Then you know what he said? I gave him another $5 million just so they could leave me alone. Damn. So I firmly believe that they can fund it.
Okay, that they can.
But let's say they can't. Like, you can sit down and properly fund that budget. I feel like from the police department, you can easily cut $2 billion. $1 billion or $2 billion.
Okay.
Without no questions, no hesitations. You can just square with a nice little knife, slice, and displace.
Okay.
Right? But I feel like we need to work on stuff as, like,
when a cop messes
training.
Up, what happens?
I think I said that already.
Yeah.
But proper, like our own place, like our own place to like, okay, what happened, and goes into an investigation, and people will sit down there and they will go like, well, did he not, such and such,
like actual justice.
Yes, and should be like more commonly brought into court. Well, and brought up to, and it shouldn't be by. It should be.
Ooh, I actually have an interesting question for this. Do you think that police allegation cases should be discussed in public court for
allegations?
Yeah, like let's say allegedly a cop is charged with brutality against this person. He's alive though.
I think one of the bills that Kwame signed is it
That it would be handled.
Those stuff would be public. A lot of court. Yeah, a lot of like.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Well, it should have been. It should be public. I feel like that's right, because if my records are public, if I got fired from a job and my job says why I got fired, and you put my social security up, that shit will come up. I feel the same thing should be for a cop. They should fire. That shouldn't be covered up, right? The same way when somebody gets out of jail, they're a felon.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the same way. I feel like that was correct. The chokehold was correct.
Chokehold being illegal.
I'm sorry. Chokehold being illegal is correct. Definitely take off $1 billion, put in other areas, and actually properly build up stuff like more government. More government schools, more government programs, jobs, creating more jobs and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm creating more jobs and stuff like that. And I think just police training can
without a doubt.
That's the real thing. I feel like we need to really focus on.
Actually, I think it was written somewhere. I was like looking at this with my brother where it was like there's an 8-hour class for de-escalation, and
it should be longer.
But that's the only class.
That's the only class. That's a problem
for the training.
That's really what it needs to be held, training. And you know what I also think is funnier? I feel like if gun control, it's so funny that we in America we have this constant thing about like killings, and one thing that all these killings have something very much in common is guns. All right, mass shootings, church shootings, police officers. What's a common thread behind all these things is a gun. All right. So if we want to I feel like if we have tighter sense of gun control, right? Like in the UK, I don't think police officers are carry guns.
Wasn't it Germany? New Zealand? Like their police force doesn't have guns. I don't know.
Okay. There you go. So this is very quick. This is a quick Google. It says right here, in the rest of the United Kingdoms, only some police officers carry guns.
And they're specially trained, right?
And those are like special trained, but your average cops do not carry
average.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't carry guns, right? And UK is not known for being a place with guns. I think they have a very strict ban on guns, right? I feel like that's the biggest problem in the United States is this bold is this idea of like the Second Amendment.
Oh yeah, I was right.
What happened?
In some countries, including Iceland, Ireland, New Zealand, Norway, and the United Kingdoms, one place excepted from the police do not carry guns. Because I know New Zealand for sure doesn't use.
But I'm sure those countries usually have a higher sense of gun control.
Yeah, but then
I think very strict on guns, not like the U.S.
There's reasons. Like, we have the right to bear arms that we fight tooth and nail for.
Actually, the Second Amendment. Let's see what the Second Amendment is.
Wait. I feel like you're about to go on a good roll.
If we read the actual Second Amendment, is because people don't understand, the Second Amendment was written, the Constitution was written in the 1700s, correct? Yeah. The 1700s are not the 20th century.
100% true.
Sorry, the 21st century. What we have and what they have is, so it would be the 16th century. The 1700s is not the same as the 21st century. Yeah. It's the 21st century.
Yeah.
Or the 20th, right? Century, right? So, I'm going to the Second Amendment right now. I'm going to read the whole thing in its entirety.
Oh, man, I'm watch you do this.
The Second Amendment, carry, bear arms. Exactly. Okay. The Second Amendment of the United States Constitution reads as a... Oh, well, I'm going to fuck the Gokuma. Sounds like I said Goku.
Man, I really wanted to hear you read it, though.
No, as soon as I saw that word, I don't want to fuck this up.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Such language has created considerable debate.
What state has a fucking militia in the 21st century? Technically, if you're following this, technically this militia, our closest thing we have to militias are cops.
Okay.
So, This does not apply.
Especially if we want our cops to be like defunded and de-armed.
Yeah, this is technically this. It's specifically talking about a sense of militia, which is a small army run by the state because at that time the founding fathers were afraid of having a king or ruler or dictator, just like Britain. They just came from that fear, so they wanted to make sure. That's why the Constitution has a very strict emphasis on state and federal power, right? But this does not 100% apply to our current times because we don't have militias. So
I feel like you're making a
I feel like the best.
reasonable
I feel like the underlying problem of all this is gun control. Because I personally, I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna say cops shouldn't carry guns if guns are still just as easily
attainable by people.
Because at the same time, we see how much cops kill people and unnecessarily because of not being trained well. But at the same time, we don't see how many cops are killed on the line of duty.
True.
We're not seeing that side neither, right? And I feel like the problems that's going on is everybody's playing politics. Nobody's really trying to look at the solution and go like, how do we fix this? How do we, create a better sense of unity? What are the underlying issues that's causing this situation, right? So I think that's really where it comes from. Gun control.
I would agree with that.
But
the question I wanted to ask you was, what do you think good gun control is for America?
Reduce of. I don't think that everybody who lives in the South should have like 2 or 3 guns in gun collections.
Okay.
I don't think that. Okay, you know what? Let's say for the contradictory. No, we're not getting rid of guns. I don't think an average person should be able to buy a submachine gun.
Yeah, I think that.
That should not be pistols.
And hunting rifles? Would you say that's that? Or hunting rifles only if you are proven to be a hunter and you have the credentials? Because we do.
But a rifle hunter is not the same as an automatic weapon.
No, 100%.
It's
like a marksman's
it's
rifles.
Just poof, right?
Oh,
you
like
shoot one.
Yeah, and then you would have to.
It's not like you hold it and.
Yeah, but there is also laws stating that assault rifles are semi-automatic and assault rifles are pretty much straight up illegal, and you shouldn't have anything. Though there are modifications you can to make a non-as effective gun more effective, aka more automatic. But yeah. So what would you say is good? I ask this because I feel like that's where the real question is, like the real working together and coming to a solution. Is what is good gun control for America? Because we do have places like the South, and we do have places where guns are probably barely used or in homes by the civilians and the citizens. So what do you think that would look like? Because to me, I think it would be.
I think just getting rid of guns straight out.
I think
people. I know culture wise, yes, but a lot. Okay, and culturally, it was normal to go on the weekends to buy a slave. That's culture. Yeah. That's not culture anymore. That's not culture anymore. Because at the end, it's not culture anymore.
Just it is what it is.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna make a joke.
Go on, man.
Oh, I was gonna say, besides if you're on a basketball team, technically you do the same thing.
Out of pocket, maybe.
I might edit it out.
Maybe. But anywho, so I will say this to you on this.
Yeah, thank you. You just gave me a great segue to edit out.
Yeah. So what I really want to say on that is, I think good.
It's been serious for the last.
It's been. This
is no fun. I just want to make jokes.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, just wrap it up.
I think gun control is a hard issue because there's hard-headed people. If people do not want people to die by guns, simply just not have guns. That's how that would work. Or at least make it so that our police force has a specialized unit with guns and it takes specialized training to wield a gun, thus taking pistols off of the hands of every person who becomes a cop. And also making sure that police training is more strict and more intensive and inclusive to different situations, especially de-escalations of situations. And I think that'll make some good progress in the right
I mean,
direction.
we have a fan topic.
Oh.
We have a fan topic. All right, you remember the topic, right? Fan is a strong word. We have a listener topic.
If I'm right,
should men tell their girls before shaving their beards?
that is an interesting one. What's your take on that?
I sent you the screenshot of the actual thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? I can't. Oh, yeah, there it is. What does it say? I'm blind.
Should a man discuss with his woman first before shaving his beard?
Oh, that's funny.
And I see the biggest issue here is that my boy got a baby face. Let's be honest. This man went from a man to a teenager.
I feel like most girls will say yes. If you're gonna shave your beard, you should tell us because this is a relationship. You do something, you communicate with me. I like you with your beard. I feel like that's what most women's takes. My personal opinion, bitch, I can shave my beard if I fucking want to. I don't need permission from you. But at the same time, I'm single.
I will say this. Since I know we got to come with the energy right now. My energy is, if you say my beard is scruffy and pricky when I kiss you, and then one day I finally got enough of it and I shave it, and then you're like, oh, but I love like playing with your beard, I'm going to look at you like you need to really make up your mind.
No, but what if she says she likes the beard on you?
Then I'll be like, okay, cool, wait 2 months. We're not supposed to break up in like 2 months, right? Yeah, the beard will be back. Like, it grows.
And for me, it's like...
exactly.
For me, it's like, well, it probably will be over.
But no, honestly, let's answer this seriously.
Let's... I gotta give the shout out to the person.
Oh, yeah, of course. So who pitched this wonderful question?
Her name's Chris?
See...
Chris. Yeah. Shout out to Chris for sending us this question.
Yeah, Chris. I won't lie. That was a really good question.
Yeah, shout out for Chris for sending us a question. And she asked us, should men like tell their girlfriends if they should shave their beards?
Yeah, I think it
is
a conversation.
I think she had a whole point. Her whole point was asking like. Her whole point was like, is it fair?
Okay, I'm gonna just jump in. I'm gonna jump in and answer that. Well, you read that. I think that it is fair within a relationship because certain things like people don't like. Like I've dated a few people who my facial hair, I don't really got too much of a beard going on, but I got something now. They didn't like that it pricks them, and some people just really hate mustaches. So, like, I understand that you should take that into account. You know what I think it is?
I think they're just upset that we didn't ask for their feedback.
Yeah, see.
That's really what it is.
You jump into where I was going.
Yeah, because, Kuma, you get me tired, man. Well, you love the journey. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, and plus you get all the information, so I'm giving you time.
Yeah.
I got you.
You can't see that. Come on.
But, anywho, realistically, I think, it's mainly you just want to be a part of the decision, and I think you should take into account what your partner likes and dislikes. That's really how I feel, because like I've had to shave my mustache because the girl I was going out with didn't really like it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, okay, if you ain't like the mustache, but you're okay with the chin stuff, and I'm like, I don't get it, but okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, but I do understand that there are some dudes they shave, they're a different person.
Yeah.
And like I am a baby face boy, whether you believe it or not. If I shave this, I look like I'm 16 again. So
I wouldn't shave my. I don't know.
Yo, bro, listen.
I wouldn't tell the girl, but I'm not present to get good.
Imagine you going out. Think about the girl's perspective. She's going out with a man. Now you a boy.
Oh, I'm thinking. No, I thought you mean like, what if she has like dark red hair? I love her dark red hair, and then she just comes in there with purple hair.
That's not, okay, you know that's a good. That is good. Actually, no, yes.
But you know what's funny?
We're here because that hurts. Because hurts a lot.
Because I'm thinking to myself, she'd be like, she wouldn't care what I think.
Yeah, you not at all.
So why do we have to tear? Like, why do
no?
Why relationships are so uneven?
They are.
That's not fair.
See, this is why I asked the question in the beginning. Because I feel like it is, but. Yeah, if a girl had long hair and then she cuts it, how do you feel? Do you feel like she should tell you that she's gonna cut her hair? Like she wants to try a bang bob cut, and she had long hair.
I don't know, bro. I don't know what to say. I really don't know.
Listen, I've been in that situation probably once or twice.
I really don't know. I'm better equipped to talk about Run the Jewels' new album.
Okay, I love that, and yes. I'm going.
But we're gonna save that for next week because we're about to hit an hour.
Yeah, so I'll just
talk about cop reform for the whole episode.
I knew it was gonna happen, man. There's a lot to talk about there.
It is a lot to talk about, and I feel like.
All right, so long story short, girl, if you want to cut your hair without asking me, I can cut my beard without asking you.
And the NYPD budget too. There's other police force. So does that also count underneath NYPD? Because technically, there's. Do you know for taxis and limousine they have their own police force?
Yeah.
Yeah. Taxis and stuff like that. They have their own police force.
But then wouldn't it just be better to have different? Oh yeah.
Metro, they have their own police force. Yeah. Shelters, they have their own police force.
Yeah.
Fuck it, like airports, own police force. Hospitals, own police. Like they add like cops. Like they can arrest, charge you, but they don't work for NYPD. Does that count? Does that count underneath, or they're like a different?
That's separate.
Is that separate though?
Yeah, that's separate.
Okay.
But then that becomes another thing. I feel like you could take that in a direction where it becomes another thing, but we're not doing that right now.
Yeah, when people say $6 billion, does that?
No, I think that's strictly. If we're saying it's strictly for NYPD,
but I don't think most people know that's different police forces.
I also do think that's also true.
I don't think people understand it's different.
But I also
forces.
think the news showcases it different though. Like when, let's say, you get arrested like at a mall, like it's different, or you get arrested at the airport, it's different.
Also, the other police force talk about how NYPD just take all the credit for everything. They're like, that was our department and that was our what you call it?
That was our officer.
Not officer. What's it? Our region, our
jurisdiction.
That was our jurisdiction, and we're in charge of it. But you guys butted in.
Yeah. Private entity versus, I guess, public entity.
No, it's public versus public entity. It's like the FBI versus the CIA.
Oh,
they never like each other.
Yeah,
I got my money in the CIA because they're technically spies.
They have. You see what good representation does to you, man. Yeah. Good representation.
Even though I don't even know if they are spies.
Exactly. Yeah, I just want police officers to have that good of a reputation. That's it.
CIA don't have a good reputation. They kill mad people.
You think they're spies?
Yeah, but I don't think they're good spies. Like good people.
What's that about?
They're good spies.
You get the job done.
Yeah, they're good
spies.
Done. They do just because they do bad things and they do it correctly.
Yeah.
Like they did something bad, but they meant to do it.
Yeah.
So they're efficient.
Yeah.
Like how like they infiltrated the Nation of Islam and pretended to be a Nation of Islam disciples,
supporters and disciples,
and then they went and killed Malcolm X because he was going out and meeting with like different like rulers and diplomatarians from different countries, and they was worried about him, and they was keeping a track on him, and he thought he was a threat to national security. But he was only like trying to learn more about Islam and like culture and bring up the black people in America. And he went from being a probably like extremely anti-white to like, now we need to figure this out because we're all God's child.
Nah, man, we already had MLK. They said we didn't.
No, MLK was going more like, now we need to kill them.
Well, they had a shift of balance.
Yo, I swear, if MLK and Malcolm X, if they just lived for 5 more years, we would never see them the same. I'm not saying what they did was good or bad. Mm-hmm. Well, it was good. But I'm saying the way we see them would just radically change.
Yeah, because like I think they were both going through, I think what I'm doing needs to take a different turn.
Yes, Malcolm was like,
I need to be paraphrasing, I need to be softer with how I view things.
Yeah, no.
And MLK was like, I need to be a little harder with how I view things.
Yes. And there was I want to have a book of like behind the scenes conversation with Malcolm X.
Wait, didn't his wife have
I'm like the politics of everything of the movement itself and the conversation you had with other leaders.
Oh, you mean like from Malcolm X's point of view when he was out traveling?
Well, it doesn't have to be from his point of view, just people in general.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure about that one.
I'm really curious. I'll be curious in that book because I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff he said in front of the camera did not match what he felt personally. I think it was confirmed actually. I feel it was a lot of arguments, like conversations about self-defense. It just be a question.
Just thinking about self-defense back then and now, it's wow.
You know, it would be it would be so dope if I want to see like, I think, have you ever read the autobiography of Malcolm X?
parts of it.
You parts of it? Oh, you're doing yourself a shame, man. Like what? The beginning of it? Or just
The beginning, some parts in the middle.
That's probably one of the greatest character development in like history.
No, just phrasing it like that is actually.
Oh well,
pretty.
mine's is up there. I had a long 5 years.
Yo, what's the bio dropping, man?
I'm bored. I feel like typing in my story. But that was a great character development. Yeah, he needs like a TV show, like a historical TV show, just following Malcolm X. I don't know if I told you this. Fun fact. You know who Quincy Jones is, right?
Yeah.
When Quincy Jones was younger, he used to be a part of, I think, he used to travel around with Ray Charles.
Okay.
You know Ray Charles used to do a lot of drugs, right? Ray Charles would give money
to Quincy
to go buy drugs from Little Red or Detroit Red, which later became Malcolm X.
Wow.
Yeah, man. In Harlem. Yeah, man. We're just going to end it there. All right, see you guys.
Bye. All right, peace.